Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to be doing a recap of The Ultimate Fighter Season 25, Episode 4, James Krause versus Johnny Nunez. Three parts to this episode. The overview of the episode, the coaches, and then the fight itself. I'll put a timestamp in the description, so if you want to skip ahead. The overview of this episode, it was a pretty good episode actually. They didn't delve too far into each fighter's background. They did a little bit, with James Krause and Johnny Nunez. Nunez, he in his previous stint on The Ultimate Fighter, he actually lost twice. He lost the first fight, then they brought him back, and then he lost his second fight. So he's trying to not become a three-time loser in this episode. And James Krause, they delved a little bit into his background, but not much. He's a current UFC fighter, and he's the #1 pick, so he is kind of the favorite. There was not really a prank, but I guess it was TJ's birthday, and they made him a birthday card, which was kind of cool. But they shaved Tom Galicchio's arm to make a little bear or something. And if anybody can stand to lose a bit of hair, it's Tom Galicchio. That dude is one hairy guy, man. He's got hair all over his chest, back, arms. So he is a little bit lighter after this episode from shaving his arm. And there was a cool scene where they were all in the hot tub together and they were doing poetry. It was kind of funny. Some of them were okay. Some of them not very good at poetry. It seems like Jesse Taylor's really into poetry. But they all kind of, respected each other and gave each other a voice. And it's kind of cool this season that, all the fighters are respectful of each other. They're all veterans. They really give each other that respect that they don't either make fun of or pull pranks or talk shit, really. They're all professional fighters, and it shows in these episodes when they're all doing that group hug, and it's kind of neat. It's a unique dynamic that these guys can get together and live and still respect each other, but know that they got to go to war and they're going to have to fight each other. So it's a unique dynamic, and it's pretty cool to see. The coaches, as I said, there really wasn't much back and forth between the coaches. There wasn't any bickering. Cody did come to the house and just to kind of hang out with his team, and I guess just whoever is in the house, and he brought Misha Tate and Clay Guida, and they all kind of had some drinks and stuff, and it was fun. And there wasn't much about TJ in this episode really, so I didn't really see him much, but the coaches were fine. It was kind of cool to see him unwind, and it was kind of neat to see that the fighters in the house really weren't drinking a whole lot. They were kind of making the coaches drink. It just shows me that these fighters are taking it seriously. They don't want to get drunk. They don't want to mess up anything. They got their eye on the prize. It kind of dawned on me that this isn't necessarily like, Coach TJ versus Coach Cody. This is almost like, it's like Alpha Male versus Dwayne Ludwig's team, since they split off, and TJ. So I think that losing all these fights is really getting to Cody, because it's kind of it doesn't really show that they're a better team, but I think it's kind of like bragging rights. We can coach better than you guys. So it's interesting. I think as the season goes on, that rivalry will get better. The fight itself, it was a good fight. I was very impressed with Johnny Nunez. I actually thought he got the better of the stand-up, even though he's billed as mostly a wrestler. I thought he got in, and he actually at one point dropped James Krause with a overhand left, I believe, which was real surprising. I thought he had Krause kind of hurt, and he was doing really well. He was doing really well until later, towards the end of the first round. Krause caught him with a knee coming in, kind of. I don't think Nunez was going for a takedown, but he was kind of ducking, and And Krause caught him with that knee earlier in the round, and I think he timed it well on the second one, and he dropped Nunes. And from there, Krause kind of went for a guillotine, thought about it, thought better of it, took his back, and then from there he kind of flattened him out. Just matter of seconds before the bell, Krause sunk in a rear naked choke, and Nunes was forced to tap. So good win for Krause. You know, he fought through some adversity, and I thought Nunes looked good. You know, Krause looked okay in the stand-up. You know, I think, but way to weather the storm. You know, and I think he'll do better in the next rounds. It was a good fight, you know, by both guys, really. But Krause gets the win and moves on. Next week we have Haider Hassan versus Diego Lima. I thought this was kind of a desperate pick on the part of Cody Garbrandt, because he's lost 4 straight fights now, and I think they're grasping at any kind of advantage they can get. And these two guys, they're teammates. Matter of fact, they have the same head coach. So it's not really a team competition, and it's every man for himself. But I thought it was kind of a shitty pick, you know, because even Haider said, you know, he didn't want to fight him right away. You know, he wanted to fight him at the last possible moment. You know, he even said in the next round, you know, I'll fight him. Cody, I think they're a little desperate to get a win, so he's taking any kind of advantage that he can get. Leaning towards Diego Lima. I really like Haider Hassan, but I think the stand-up that Lima possesses is a little bit better, so we should see with that. That's it for this week. Short and sweet, you know, wasn't a jam-packed episode. The fight was good, but other than that, uneventful once again as far as the TV show. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like it. Share, and if you got any comments, and leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate you watching, and until next time. That rivalry, that team rivalry. Who would think that the word rivalry is kind of hard to say?